We're recording. Okay, so I'm going to start off just asking your name and how you spell your name.
With a C, C-A-T-H-E-R-I-N-E.
Y-A-C-O-N-I. And how old are you?
95.
95. And you grew up in New Florence.
Yes, I lived over by the railroad track.
Okay. What were your parents' names? Your mom and dad?
My mom and dad,
Yeah.
Frank P. Story and Bertha. She was Bertha Ada Gable before she married my dad.
Bertha Gable. And what was your dad's last name? I missed that.
Story.
S-T...
O-R-E-Y.
And your husband was?
Tony Yaconi.
Tony Yaconi. That kind of has a ring to it, doesn't it? Now, one thing, this little camera only records about 20 minutes at a time, and then it shuts off, and then I'll have to turn it back on again. Okay. And also, with the interview, we have Catherine's granddaughter?
Yes.
Antoinette.
Yes. I don't have.
My camera's sitting crooked.
It's just on her.
You just want it on her?
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm just here to help.
You're on there a little bit.
Okay.
But for some reason, this is crooked. Well, we can have him.
What if you work this thing that way? There.
There we go. That's better. Okay. Can I get your children's names?
My children.
Yeah, how many children do you have?
One.
You have one?
Kathy Jean.
Kathy. Is that with the C?
C-A-T-H-Y.
Jean?
Jean.
J-E-A-N?
J-E-A-N.
What is it?
You're right. J-E-A-N.
Okay. So I have a list of questions, but we don't have to stick to them. If you have something you want to say, you just jump in and say it. My first question on here is, how did you end up living in New Florence?
How?
Yeah, how did you end up here?
Were you born here? Or did your family move
Are
here?
were your parents from here? Can you lay that right beside her, please? Okay.
Really? I mean,
Were you born here?
yes.
Okay. I imagine you were probably born at Lee Hospital then, right?
No, I don't think so. 'Cause
No?
Probably at home.
Back then they had their children at home.
Yeah.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
4 sisters, and that's it. No brothers.
Are any of them still living, or are you the only one?
No, there's
You're the
only one living.
You're the last one out of the 4. Were you the oldest or the youngest?
No, I was the 3rd one.
Oh, that's the best one.
Middle
Yeah.
child.
I had 2 sisters older than me and 2 younger than me.
Okay.
And my 2 oldest sisters died of cancer.
Really? That's sad. Yeah.
And
What did your parents do for a living? Did they both work, or just did your dad work?
my dad was a carpenter.
Oh, okay.
In fact, he built the house that we lived in down at the other end of town, behind the yellow brick schoolhouse.
Oh, you live back in that group of houses back there?
It's still standing.
Okay, I know where that is.
Yeah.
Now, was he self-employed as a carpenter, or did he work for someone else?
He just worked for himself.
So he must have done pretty good with it then.
Yeah. So,
Did you ever help him?
not that I remember.
What else about Grandpa?
Yeah. He was in the services.
And who's that?
That's him.
That's him.
That's your dad? Oh, could you hold that up to the camera maybe? Bring it in just a little bit more and down. Okay, that's good. That looks
World War One.
like a doughboy uniform.
He was in the army.
So he was in the army.
I guess it was him.
Yeah, yeah. And what did your mother do?
She didn't do anything outside of keep house.
She was a busy housewife, wasn't she?
Yeah,
She probably did all the cooking and the baking and the cleaning, and
yeah.
they didn't have electric washer and dryers back then. It was a little more work.
What was that?
They didn't have the electric washing and drying.
No.
You had
they
to hang the
didn't.
clothes out on the line. And
Yeah.
now you were saying before we started that your mother washed clothes for somebody?
Well, that was after my father died.
Uh-huh.
Of course, but then there was no Social Security.
Oh, there wasn't.
No, when he passed away.
Oh.
Tell him what happened to Grandpa.
Oh.
Tell him what happened to your father. Passed away young.
Your dad died young?
Well, yeah, they used to play ball up there where the housing development is.
Where the New Florence Manor is?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
there used to be a ball field.
That's right, I remember that.
And he used to go up there and watch the fellows play ball. And this day, for some reason or other, he wasn't going to go. And my mother said, "Oh," she said, you should go and go up and talk to the fellows because, you know, living with a family of 5 girls, well, I probably wanted to be around some men."
Yeah.
So anyhow, he went up, and it wasn't long till he left. They brought him back with his head tied up.
His head was tied up.
Yeah. 2 of the fellows got into an argument, and they threw the bat, and the bat hit him on the back of the head and crushed his skull in.
Oh my gosh.
And,
So 2 of the baseball players
yeah.
got into a fight,
Uh,
and they threw a bat, and it hit your dad on the back of the head
yeah.
and crushed his skull.
Yeah, and instead of taking him to the hospital, well, there was a Dr. Tittle that used to be here in town. He wasn't much of a doctor.
Oh, I don't remember that name. Dr. Tittle. Yeah.
Well, he used to live down here at the end of the street in that house coming out this street, the first house.
Where Fullers live? I think, yeah.
And anyhow, they took him to him, and was all he did was just tied his head up, and then the undertaker of New Florence heard about it. So he went and he got my dad, and he took him to the hospital.
The undertaker took your dad to the hospital.
Yeah.
Who was the undertaker at that time? Was it Wagner?
Perhaps I was trying to think of his name.
That's the only names I know are Wagner and Stewart. There might have been somebody else.
Stewart.
Oh, Dick Stewart. No, Kenny. Ken Stewart.
Yeah. The one before Dick Stewart.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he didn't live overnight.
Oh.
So
So he died at the hospital.
Yeah. So,
Probably nowadays they probably could have saved him
uh-huh.
because
Yeah.
we've advanced so much medically, but back then. Did you ever find out who the two fellas were that were in the argument? That threw the bat?
Not offhand, I can't think of it now.
Were they local people
Oh, yeah.
from New Florence?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Well, the one was my mother's insurance agent.
Her insurance agent was one of them. That'd be something to live with.
Yeah. Because after that happened, he moved out of town because he couldn't stand to see us 5 girls without a father.
I could understand that.
So,
Where's your dad buried?
Fairfield.
Up on the hill there?
Yeah.
As you go up 7-Eleven?
Yeah. My mother and both of them were buried out there.
Are your sisters up there too?
Yeah.
So the whole family is. Because I know they have like an older section and a newer section in there.
Yeah.
Okay, well that was very, very sad but interesting.
Yeah.
But it was still very sad. How old were you when this happened? Do you remember?
Well, I was only 9,
You were only 9.
and my youngest sister was 3.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So your mother, after that, would have been raising the 4 of you on her own. 5 girls, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's what she did.
Did she have to get a job?
No, she didn't get a job.
So she must have got some kind of a
Well, she took
She
in
got
laundry.
what they called mother's assistance,
mother's
which wasn't
assistance.
very much.
Yeah,
I think it was $18 for each one of us.
$18 a child.
Yeah. And when we become a certain age, it was taken off.
Yeah.
So,
But didn't she take in laundry and do jobs like that to help with income? Didn't she take in laundry to help with the income?
well, we just went along as best she could.
No. She took in laundry, like did other people's
Oh.
laundry.
She did
Yeah.
laundry for other people to
Yeah.
earn extra money. And she did that in her home.
Mhm.
That's tough. I can remember relatives of mine that back in the day they would do ironing for people and washing and stuff to earn extra money.
Mhm.
And they didn't have air conditioners back then.
No.
It was hot. Real hot. Well, thank you for sharing that. Let's see. So your dad was a carpenter, but he died young. And you were 9 when he died. And your youngest sister was 3.
Yeah, those houses up in what they call Robindale, he helped build those.
Old Robindale?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. That was a coal mining town in its
Yeah.
day. Robindale was. So what did you do after you graduated from high school? What did you do?
What did I do?
Did you get married? Did you go away? Did you?
Well, I got a job is what I did,
Okay.
because that was, we used to work down in Derry.
In Derry.
Yeah, they made hand grenades.
You worked making hand grenades?
Well, I didn't make them, I was an inspector.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Can
Interesting.
you
because I had a,
tell them when you graduated? So
Yeah.
tell them when you graduated high school.
42.
1942, and World War II is going on.
Right.
So this is part of the war effort.
You graduated in 1942, and then you worked in Derry. Inspecting hand grenades. That's a new one on me.
And who else worked with you?
Yeah.
Two of your sisters.
A Mr. Ashkin that worked down there. And,
Mr. Ashcombe?
we rode with him to work.
It wasn't Frank Ashcombe, was it? From New Florence?
It was his father.
Frank Ashcombe's father.
Yeah.
So he gave you and some other people a ride down there.
Yeah.
Did you work the same shift all the time?
Yeah.
Daylight, like 8 in the morning to 5, or?
It was daylight when we worked.
Yeah.
But, that's about it.
Okay. Well, that sounds like an interesting job, but I wonder what you do to inspect a grenade.
Well, I had there was what they call a little sleeve. Well, I don't know if you ever saw a hand grenade or not.
Yes, I've seen them.
And anyhow, if that little sleeve wasn't sealed, I had to send it back because they had to do it. Because they had to be on there tight.
Yeah.
So,
So you helped with the war effort then?
yeah.
You were a modern-day Rosie the Riveter. That's very interesting.
Her and two of her sisters.
Oh, 2 of your sisters went too?
I believe it was Aunt Ruth and Aunt Sal.
And was your husband from here also?
Yeah.
So did you already know
Yeah,
him?
well, we used to live over there along the railroad track, and I didn't know it at the time, but here his family lived along the railroad track, not too far down from us.
Okay. Did you know him from high school?
No.
So you met him outside of school
Yeah.
and you went out on a date and...
Well, how I met him, my mother needed some work done, and she got him to do it.
That's how you met, and then the rest is history, right?
Yeah, and then we started dating. What's that?
Did you have a big wedding?
No. Just went away and got married.
And was he in the Army too, or was he in the military at all?
No.
He was busy working back home.
He always wanted to go to college, but he came from a family of 8.
Oh my goodness.
And they couldn't afford it.
Uh-huh.
So,
But why couldn't they afford it? What happened to his dad?
What happened to his dad?
his dad, well, he worked for the water company. And over there at the Centerville crossing, the truck wrecked or something, but anyhow, that's where he got killed. Truck fell on him.
I have to tell you something. My husband just found this article last night and gave it to me because he knew I was coming down here. And it has a picture of your husband here
Yeah.
and the story about how his father was killed.
Yeah.
Have you seen this before?
Yeah, I just saw it a week ago. I actually
Yeah.
have it pulled here too.
And he said, take that down with you because that's interesting. And my husband works for High Ridge Water. And I never knew that your husband was a boss there
Yeah.
until last night.
Yeah.
This is something that we found with my grandpa. It's from 1937, 1935, and it's about High Ridge Water. It has a list of names, how many hours they worked. That's just a sample, and what they made per day, not even hourly, per day.
Wait, that's cents.
Yes, 35
35 cents a day. Let's see.
in 1935.
Tony Yaconi made 35 cents a day in 1935.
And they worked a boatload of hours, too.
Yeah. J.B. Jackson made 40 cents a day. He got paid more.
I don't know if he was a boss. I don't know.
Yeah, Ken Geary made 30 cents and Stuart DeWitt made 30 cents. And what's on the front of this? Standard time book.
It goes up to
Well, that's
1937.
interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah, people complain today about how much money they make.
Right.
Like
What's our
here-
minimum wage now?
Here's another example of 1937 where he made 45 cents a day, and he, in 2 weeks, made $58.50. That was his take home.
How much?
$58.50.
$58 take home pay.
Can't even buy groceries for that.
No. You can barely buy gas.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then this is the article that my husband had from the High Ridge story about the Yaconis and the train wreck. And there's a picture of Tony Yaconi right there.
When his father passed away, they offered the job to him, and he was the eldest of the family. They had we found out after my grandfather passed away that he actually was born in Tuscany, Italy, and only one of his sisters was born here in the U.S.
So he was the first, say,
Generation,
immigrant from the
yeah.
family, first generation American.
Yeah.
And then your grandfather would have been.
Yeah, so my
first
grandmother,
citizen,
or my
American
mom,
citizen.
would be the firstborn in the U.S. from the family.
Wow.
Well, I don't know technically from the family, but from my
Yeah.
grandfather.
That's interesting.
That's a picture of Catherine, my daughter,
I was looking for their
and
wedding
our
picture.
dog.
Oh, and a little puppy dog. Okay. Where was this taken, do you know?
It was taken here at the house someplace, and that was the dog, Blackie.
Blackie.
No.
It's a bird dog.
Here is a picture.
So how long did you work at the, was it called the Grenade Factory, or what was the name of it? Do you remember? In Derry?
At Dairy.
Yeah, what was the name of that place?
Oops, I can't-
Just a grenade factory?
Well, I guess that's what you'd call it.
How long do you think you worked there? Do you remember?
Well, till after the war.
Till after the war.
Because
So-
after that, I
You did your part.
worked down here at the drugstore for 12 years.
St. Clair Drugstore?
Yeah,
What'd you do there?
just a clerk. That's all.
Did you run like the cash register, and
Yeah.
did you make sodas at the soda fountain
Yeah, and Sundays
and
and.
Sundays? And everybody talks about their ice cream sundaes and their
Yeah.
sodas.
That's their wedding pictures.
This is their wedding picture.
I don't see one of them together.
Okay, I'll see if I can get this on the camera. This is your wedding photo. Well, your wedding day. First I'll do you. Let's see here. Doesn't seem to want to focus on it. There it is. Okay, and then here's Tony. I noticed back in the day, a lot of women wore those suit dresses instead of a wedding gown to get married.
I just got a war suit.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Where did you guys get married at? Where did you get married at?
St. Vincent.
What was it, July or June 16th, 1950? When did you get married? June 16th, 1950?
June the 16th.
You got married in 1950.
Married.
So this is the St. Clair pharmacist
Yeah.
that you worked. Did you work for him? Okay. And his name's Russell St. Clair. He's a young looking guy. And I think that's the store there. St. Clair Drug Store. And let's see, it says,
Well, that's.
it doesn't say who's standing in front of it. So you've seen a lot of changes in the town over your years.
Oh, God, yes.
You think it's for the better or the worse?
Well, I don't know, maybe it's for the better, I couldn't say. So,
What's your memory as a child, what the Main Street looked like? If you were to walk up Main Street when you were like 9 or 10 years old, what would you see?
well, the main street was, it wasn't paved.
Was it dirt?
Yeah, it was dirt.
Okay.
So, I don't know when they did that, but.
Did they have a bank?
Huh?
Was there a bank?
A bank? Yeah, there was a bank down here.
And what else?
And there was Trimble store and TV Love store and the post office, and then there was another store. It was called DeWitt store.
What did they sell?
Just regular stuff, merchandise and that.
Uh-huh.
So,
Now, correct me if I'm
and then
wrong.
there was Hurl's Restaurant.
Oh, there was a restaurant.
Yeah.
Is that building still there or not?
No,
Okay.
none of those buildings are here anymore.
So the restaurant in New Florence, the family restaurant, that used to be, I think, the Queen's Motel. Am I right or wrong?
She told me she used to go dancing there.
Hmm?
At the restaurant, she told me she used to go dancing there.
Yeah, they used to have dances there.
The bank used to be on the corner down there.
What about the restaurant that we ate at a few weeks ago, where we had breakfast?
Mhm.
What was the restaurant where we ate at a few weeks ago, where you used to go dancing?
The restaurant was on the corner there where
No.
CT's is.
Right, but
Oh, okay.
where we ate the other day,
The
Huh?
coffee
with
cup.
the coffee cup when we ate and you had pancakes, that place you said you used to go dancing at, what was that?
Yeah.
No, what was it?
There was no coffee cup there.
No, Grandma. You said when you were younger, you used to go dancing there. When you were younger, what was it?
What was the name of it?
Well, we used to go dancing in the town hall.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
And where was the town hall?
It was down where the library is now.
Okay. So they tore down the town hall.
And it was 2 stories.
I saw a picture of it. And then they tore that down and put the library in then, right?
Yeah,
Okay. We've had a lot of changes here.
yeah.
I remember the red brick school. And then they tore that down and now it's a park.
Yeah.
And didn't there used to be a little store, D. Ronaldo's or something, a shoe store, where they have that by the fire hall where they always put the Christmas tree up?
Yeah.
Didn't there used to be a D. Ronaldo's shoe store there?
I think it was a shoe store.
I'm thinking it was.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I want to hear the story. Donna, your niece, was telling me a story about that you told her about a snowstorm and a horse.
Snowstorm.
And a horse. A horse falling or something.
Oh, yeah, it was coming down Fairfield Hill. And,
Oh, wow.
And the one horse slipped and fell.
Coming down Fairfield Hill.
Yeah.
Were you on the horse or was it
No,
pulling a
was
carriage?
It was in the wagon.
In a wagon.
Uh-huh.
So there was one horse pulling the wagon.
Yeah. So,
But if you were coming down the hill,